He'll be gone soon anyway. That's what she said. To him, laughing. While I was in a chemo chair with an IV in my arm, fighting to stay alive, she was in our kitchen, on speakerphone, mocking me to another man. I wasn't supposed to hear it. She didn't know I'd left my appointment early that day, or that I was standing outside the mudroom, sweating through my hoodie, trying to catch my breath when I heard her say it. He'll be gone soon anyway. You just have to wait it out. Then she laughed. And he said, well, that's dark. And she said, I mean, it's not like I'm poisoning him. That laugh. It was sharp, cruel. Like my death was just an awkward formality standing in the way of her next chapter. I didn't say a word. I didn't walk in or slam the door. I turned around, walked 2 blocks down the street, and sat in my truck with the engine off, just listening to the silence in my chest. My name's Eric. I'm 38. And that was the exact moment I stopped being married. You want background? Here it is, fast and simple. I'd been with Mia for 11 years. IT consultant, decent money, boring work. We lived in a nice quiet town in upstate New York. No kids. 1 dog. Tucker, golden retriever, loved socks and peanut butter. We weren't flashy, but we were solid. Or so I thought. The cancer hit out of nowhere. Hodgkin's lymphoma. Stage 2. Not a death sentence, but not nothing either. The kind of thing that shakes everything. When I told Mia, she cried. Help me. Said we'd fight it together. That lasted about 3 weeks. She stopped coming to appointments. Stopped asking how I was. Stopped being present. At first, I gave her space. People process this stuff differently, right? But then she started going out more. And I started noticing things. A second toothbrush in the downstairs bathroom. Extra charges on our joint credit card. A receipt for a dinner in Albany on a night she told me she was at book club. And then came the moment I heard Ryan's name. That's when I started paying attention. Ryan, 29, works in her marketing firm's strategy department. I met him once at her office Christmas party. He shook my hand and said, oh man, I've heard so much about you. Yeah, I bet. I checked her phone when she left it charging on the nightstand. I didn't go looking. I just opened it because it buzzed and I saw his name. That was all it took. Hundreds of texts, photos, jokes about my juice days, chemo. One message. Do you think he suspects anything? And her reply. Please. He can barely get up the stairs. She was writing me off in real time, burying me before I was gone. But what she didn't know was, I was already in remission. Yeah, let that land. 3 weeks earlier, I'd met with my oncologist and gotten the results. Early remission. The chemo worked. Blood counts were stabilizing. Tumors were shrinking. And I didn't tell her. Not because I was scared, but because something in me knew I had to wait. Let her play it out. Let her think she was getting away with it. I started watching. Not just her. Him. I followed Ryan's socials. Found his gym. Found his past. Nothing special. Rent's too high. Leased Audi. Basic finance bro dressed up in agency buzzwords. No threat. Just noise. She'd picked this guy to replace me? Okay. That night, I did 2 things. I printed every text. Screenshotted every call log. And I bought a fresh hard drive. I named the folder Exit Strategy. Because I wasn't planning to yell. Or beg. Or even confront her. I was going to disappear, quietly, and make sure she couldn't follow. But before that, I needed to test something. One night, she came home from yoga, hair done, no mat. I was sitting at the kitchen table, drinking tea, still in my hoodie and looking pale, on purpose. She gave me a glance and said, didn't you have treatment today? I nodded. Yeah, got the bag. Didn't even feel it this time. She gave me this smile like, bless your heart, and said, you're really strong. And in that moment, I knew. She thought I was fading, but I was watching, recording, preparing. The next morning, I went into our shared office and removed the printer paper, replacing it with special forensic watermark paper. She wouldn't notice. She never printed anything. But I'd need the originals soon enough. Then I did something petty. I ordered flowers. To myself. With a card that said, keep fighting. You're almost there. No name. No note. She saw them when they arrived. Her face shifted, just slightly. Who sent those? I shrugged. Clinic maybe. Support group. She didn't press. But she didn't smile, either. Her phone started blowing up that night. Ryan. Over and over. She stepped out onto the porch to talk to him. I followed 5 minutes later, quiet, around the side of the house, and listened again. He looks better, weirdly, but he's still weak. Probably just adrenaline or something. Do you think he suspects? Nah, he's still doing the whole grateful survivor thing. I walked back inside, picked up my tea, and sat down at my laptop. That's when I opened a new document. Title, Obituary. But not mine. And the best part? They still think I'm dying. I didn't disappear all at once. You can't vanish overnight when someone still thinks they own your story. You have to slowly unhook yourself, one invisible thread at a time, until they're holding a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. Mia still thought I was dying. Still thought she had time. She still laughed at texts from Ryan while she brushed her teeth in the upstairs mirror. Still checked her phone under the table during dinner. Still left early for fake meetings and came home late reeking of cologne I didn't wear and restaurants I couldn't afford anymore. She wasn't subtle, but she thought she didn't need to be. That's what gave me room to move. I started small. Removed my name from the cloud accounts. Canceled a few cards. Wiped my browsing history. I even shut down my LinkedIn profile. Not just deactivated, nuked it. She didn't notice. Or maybe she just assumed I didn't have the strength for social media anymore. What she did notice was the appointment reminder. I sent it to her one morning from a burner email, disguised to look like a hospital auto-notification. It landed in her inbox at 8 a.m. with the subject line, Patient Update, Remission Consultation, Confidential. No message body, no logo, just the header, her name, and the word remission. She read it at her desk. I watched through a private tracking pixel. 30 seconds later, she opened it again. Then again. Then she deleted it. She never mentioned it to me. But that night, she cooked dinner. Actual dinner. Not takeout. Not leftovers. Spaghetti, salad, wine. She set the table, lit a candle like we used to. I sat down, tired, silent, and let her talk. She asked how I was feeling, if I'd been resting, if I needed help calling the pharmacy. I nodded, murmured, "You're being very thoughtful tonight." She gave me this soft smile and said, "Just want to make sure you're okay. I know this can't be easy." I watched her closely. Her eyes were calm, but the wine glass shook in her hand. The next morning, she left for a team-building retreat. She didn't come back for 4 days. While she played the grieving but hopeful wife in public, I went to work in private. I moved out, not with boxes and movers, but slowly, in pieces. A hard drive here, 2 notebooks there, clothes folded into a duffel bag and stashed in the trunk of my car. I rented a short-term place 2 towns over. Cash, no ID, just a key under a mat and a code for the back door. It was small, quiet, cold. I liked it, but not everything went perfectly. One afternoon, I logged into my old consulting email to shut it down and saw 2 unread messages from a former client, both urgent, both CC'd to my old company name. I'd forgotten to scrub that alias from an archived tech blog I'd written under years ago. If Mia checked my browser bookmarks or remembered the name of the firm, it could have unraveled me. I deleted the messages, killed the alias, spent the rest of the day scrubbing every trace I could find. A stupid mistake. I got too comfortable. I checked the house cam later that night. She was home, alone, sitting on the couch with her laptop open, scrolling with that focused look she got when she was digging. At one point she paused, narrowed her eyes, and started typing. I held my breath. Then she stopped, shut the laptop, picked up her phone. I heard her voice through the outdoor mic a second later. "Hey, yeah. No, I just wanted to see if you'd looked into that rental place near the beach. You know, just in case." I exhaled. Not digging, dreaming. Let her. The moment that broke me wasn't the voicemail or the lying or even the infidelity. It was a sentence I overheard on her FaceTime call 2 weeks after I left. She thought I was asleep upstairs. I was actually parked 2 houses down, watching her from my phone, tapped into the neighbor's outdoor camera system, one I'd helped install last summer when they got a string of package thefts. She was outside on the patio, wine glass in hand, talking to Ryan. "He's like a ghost now," she said. "Just drifts around the house. Doesn't talk. Doesn't ask questions. Honestly, it's harder watching the dog get older." Ryan laughed. "You're awful." She giggled. "I'm just saying. At least the dog still wags his tail." I stared at the screen for a long time. The wind rustled through her hair. Her wine glass sparkled in the porch light, and I realized something I hadn't allowed myself to admit before. She wasn't just over me. She was waiting me out. Not grieving, not struggling, just waiting. When she finally noticed I was gone, it wasn't all at once. First it was texts, casual ones. Hey, haven't seen you around. You okay? I left food in the fridge. Did you eat? Then came the shift. Where are you? I'm serious. This isn't funny. Eric, I need to know you're safe. I didn't respond. The silence spooked her. 3 days later, she called. I let it go to voicemail. Her voice cracked just a little. Eric, please. I don't know what's going on, but I'm starting to get worried. If this is about me going away, I didn't know you were going to be gone. Please just call me. Please. I sent one message. Don't worry. You'll be fine. You've been planning for this anyway. She called back instantly. I turned off the phone. That same night, she posted on Facebook for the first time in weeks. A selfie, wind in her hair, coffee in hand, captioned, "Some days, healing looks like this." The likes rolled in. Sympathy, praise. You're so strong. Thinking of you. Proud of you for staying grounded during such a hard time. And right underneath, a comment from Ryan. Lucky to know you. Keep going, Mimi. That's when I printed the emails. All of them. The next week, I came dangerously close to getting seen. One of Mia's friends was getting married upstate, and I'd heard through the grapevine that she was bringing Ryan. I wasn't stalking her. I was following the money. She had charged a $300 deposit for a hotel under our joint card. She forgot I still had access to the statements. So I went, sat at the hotel bar 3 towns over, ordered a soda, and waited. Sure enough, I saw them. Arms linked, smiles ready, the image of tasteful betrayal. Then someone shouted my name. Old coworker. From the security firm I used to contract with. I turned my head slightly, just enough to nod, but not enough to give her a full look. She stared, puzzled, then squinted. I waved off the attention with a finger to my lips and walked calmly out the front door. That night, she posted another photo from the wedding. Her and Ryan, holding hands. Her caption, "Even in the darkest seasons, love finds a way." Underneath, someone commented, "Wait, where's Eric?" It got deleted 15 minutes later. Mia didn't know it yet, but her story was starting to split at the seams. People were asking questions. Quietly, awkwardly, but they were asking. I was still sick, according to her. Still fading. Still in treatment. But no one could find a GoFundMe. No caring bridge. No updates. A neighbor texted me privately. "Is everything okay?" I didn't respond. Just blocked the number. I wanted the silence to grow. I wanted her to hear it in her bones. She had told the world I was disappearing. So I let her world spin without me. But in the shadows, I was laying the groundwork. I didn't go back to my old job. I built a new one. Launched a consulting shell company through a Delaware LLC. No traceable name. Income rerouted to a clean account. I changed where I got my prescriptions. Changed which grocery store I used. Changed the people I texted. She updated her resume. I updated a folder labeled Final Phase. You don't haunt someone by showing up at their door. You do it by never showing up at all, while somehow still being everywhere. That's what I became to Mia. A presence. A possibility. A shadow that grew longer every time her carefully curated life took another step forward. And it started so small, so harmless, she probably told herself it was coincidence. That first hairline fracture was the client account, the one she bragged about landing solo. Grocery brand, regional chain, reliable money. She posted a selfie with the team captioned, "Proud to lead this one, especially this year." That, especially this year, was bait. She wanted sympathy, subtle applause. People gave it. Heart reacts. Fire emojis. 48 hours later, the client flagged a plagiarism issue. She'd lifted chunks of language, full paragraphs, from a pitch I'd written 4 years ago for a different project. Not publicly posted. Not archived online. Just something I'd built under NDA back when we shared a drive she thought I'd forgotten. She didn't see it coming. Her team got pulled into a closed-door meeting. HR looped in. No termination, not yet, but the audit started. Her promotion went quiet after that. No more humble brag posts. No more champagne flutes at brunch with captions like, "Earning this." Just one generic update about grateful to be learning and growing. It had one like. From Ryan. That should have been enough. But then I saw a post from the wedding, the one she took him to while telling her coworkers I was barely coherent on chemo. 15-second clip. People dancing, blurred laughter, and champagne clinks. And in the background, clear as a confession, she told me her husband was in hospice. Like, actually dying. That was the moment I stopped playing chess. That was when I turned the lights on. I uploaded it anonymously to a gossip subreddit. I didn't even have to mention names. Just wrote, when your coworker's wife is at a wedding with a guy who isn't her husband, while telling people her real one's terminal. It got picked up by a niche account on TikTok, then crawled into Instagram as a reel. I never said her name. Didn't have to. The internet did it for me. Someone tagged her old Instagram handle. Someone else linked to her work's employee spotlight article. I just watched it build. The same day that video quietly started spreading, she was featured in a local business article, Women to Watch in Tech-Adjacent Leadership. The article went live at noon. By 6 p.m., the outlet pulled it. No correction. No apology. Just gone. Mia didn't post anything for 3 days. Ryan, on the other hand, spiraled. He posted a blurry black and white photo of a beach at night. Captioned it, "Some people will bury you just to keep their story clean." He got 4 comments. One said, "Bro, you good?" Another said, "Are we still pretending you didn't fumble a married woman?" The third was anonymous and brutal. "Guess the watch wasn't yours after all." That one hit me harder than I expected. Because it was my watch. My anniversary gift. The one she gave me in year 5, engraved with "for every second together." I thought I was past the pain. Turns out, some things still burn. The next crack came during a live stream Q&A Mia hosted for a leadership nonprofit. It was supposed to be about resilience. They called her a survivor. Let her speak first. She opened with, "This year taught me that strength isn't loud, it's consistent. When you show up, even when life tells you not to. That's real courage." In the comments, someone wrote, "Is lying about a dying husband also real courage?" She froze mid-sentence, smiled, swallowed, kept going. But the clip made it to Twitter by morning. Captioned, "When you pretend your husband's dying to get sympathy, and someone asks the one question you can't deflect." Mia turned off comments on all her platforms that day. But Ryan? Ryan snapped. 2 nights later, he went live on Instagram. His eyes were red. Drunk or stoned, maybe both. He stared into the camera for a long minute before saying, "You ever get played so hard you don't even know what part of the story you were in?" Someone commented, "Tell us what she did." Ryan chuckled, shook his head. Then he said, "She told me she had to stay married to keep his insurance. That he was too far gone to file divorce. Said he was more paperwork than person." That's what she called him. Paperwork. Another comment rolled in. "Dude, she said he was dead." Ryan leaned closer to the camera and said, "I never even met him. Think about that. I was in the house, wore his clothes, slept in his bed, but I never even met him." He ended the stream 10 minutes later. It got saved, clipped, shared. By the next day, someone from her firm had forwarded the link to the ethics board. Mia tried damage control, posted a filtered photo of herself holding a mug that said, "Still, I rise." Captioned, "People will believe what they want. I choose peace." The next comment said, "Guess peace doesn't require honesty." The one after that just said, #paperwork. The photo was deleted within the hour. And then, something shifted. Mia stopped logging into work chat, stopped showing up on Zooms. Someone from inside messaged me anonymously, probably someone who hated her just enough to keep me looped in. They said, "She's on leave. Probably being offered a soft exit." I asked, "What's she telling people?" The answer came back quick. That she's going to Bali. To write. Says she's going to turn the pain into a book. I laughed for a solid minute. That's when I knew she was cornered. And still trying to sell it. She called me again. Voicemail. "I don't know what you're doing. Or how. But if you think this makes you better than me, it doesn't. You're still the same pathetic, weak man who let life happen to him." Then softer. "I hope you know you didn't just ruin me. You ruined Ryan. You ruined everything." I listened to it once. Saved it. Filed it under public meltdown. But I didn't respond. Not yet. Not until I finished the last piece. See, Mia always dreamed of starting her own agency. She'd been laying the groundwork for months, collected freelance contacts, built a newsletter list, even hosted a few low-key vision workshops. She thought she was building something clean, separate, new. I made sure the industry didn't see it that way. Through a shell account, I sent a carefully worded message to her newsletter list just before her first launch email went out. No accusations, no threats, just this. Before you decide to partner with someone, ask where their story begins and who they stepped over to write it. That same week, one of her top freelancer connections posted a vague tweet. Integrity, opportunity. Always. It got retweeted by 3 people Mia followed. None of them worked with her again. The folder on my desktop was done. I called it Legacy Reversal. Inside were screenshots of her texts, the wedding audio, the FaceTime transcript, HR reports leaked anonymously, Ryan's live meltdown, saved in 3 formats, and every condolence message she received while telling people I was slipping away. No plan survives first contact. Not even the quiet ones. Not even when you've built every layer in silence, checked every timeline, controlled every lever from the shadows. I knew this going in. That's why I didn't panic when the freelancer forwarded the wrong email back to her. It was a simple mix-up. An early draft I'd written under a burner alias. One of the names I'd used to seed whispers around her failed launch. He thought he was replying to someone on her new team. Instead, he hit reply all. She saw it. Saw the phrasing, the structure, and something clicked. Her assistant told a mutual friend, who told someone else, who told me. She thinks someone's orchestrating this. She wasn't wrong, but she didn't know it was me. And for a second, that scared me. She started pushing back. For the first time in months, Mia stopped playing the humble, apologetic victim and launched a campaign. She posted a long thread on X about cyber harassment, online abuse campaigns, and how women in leadership were disproportionately targeted when they outgrew their relationships. She didn't name me, but she didn't have to. That thread got picked up by one of those feminist business newsletters. They ran a headline. The price of success. One woman's fight to reclaim her narrative. It spread fast. For 2 days, she got support. Blue check marks. Influencer nods. Comments like, "We see you," and "Keep fighting." That was her swing. Her final one. Because what she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that while she was trying to rewrite the script, I was already sitting on the footage that would flip it back. The podcast was never supposed to be perfect. That was the whole point. I hired an actor to host it, but we recorded it like a real Zoom call. No retakes, no script, just chaos. And during the call, when she was in full speech mode, talking about how she held his hand while the nurses prepared the final dose, the host paused, squinted at a notification, and said, "Sorry, this is awkward, but something just came through from one of our editors. They're flagging a date. You said your husband passed in February, right?" She blinked, confused. "Yes, that's what I said." The host frowned. "We've got a LinkedIn post here from someone who tagged him in March. Conference appearance. Looks recent." You could hear the gears grinding in her head. That must be old. Or maybe it's someone else with the same name. The host didn't push. Just said, "We'll double check in post," and moved on. But I made sure that clip stayed in. No edits. No context. Just confusion, caught in real time. I leaked it anonymously to a gossip account that had already posted about her wedding appearance with Ryan. Captioned it, "Mia's story is unraveling, live." And that was the moment the audience turned. The same people who'd called her brave 2 days earlier started quote tweeting with, "So wait, was he dead or not?" Ryan didn't help her case. He reposted the clip with 3 words. "Ask her again." But the twist? She almost turned it around. The morning after the podcast blew up, she went live on Instagram. No makeup, no lighting. "Hoodie up," she said. "I don't owe anyone an explanation for how I processed my grief. Sometimes we lose people before we lose them." It was manipulative, but it was good. I'll give her that. She even had the music timed. Lo-fi piano in the background, subtle fade out. She was trying to ride the edge of ambiguity. Until she made one mistake. A single viewer pointed out that the mug on her desk had the logo of the exact conference I'd appeared at, after she claimed I was already gone. Someone zoomed in. Someone else cross-referenced dates. And just like that, the grief story wasn't ambiguous anymore. It was fraudulent. And people don't forgive lies about death. Her book agent dropped her quietly. The newsletter sponsor backed out. One of her former freelancers posted. We all supported her. She weaponized our empathy. That's not leadership, it's manipulation. She DM'd that person, threatened legal action. They screenshotted it, posted it publicly. Within hours, she locked every account she had. And while that storm ripped through her life, I made my final move. The folder I'd built, Legacy Reversal, had one file left untouched. A scanned copy of an old thank you letter she'd written to her mentor, gushing about how she found her brand voice by observing how he structured pain into strategy. He was now a high-ranking exec at one of the few agencies still willing to take a chance on her. I sent it to him, along with the podcast clip. No commentary, no threats, just the evidence. He emailed back, "Thanks, that's all I needed." A week later, her name was scrubbed from every upcoming event. But here's the thing I never expected. The real twist wasn't what happened to her. It's what happened after. I got an email from a literary agent. She said she'd read a Medium post I wrote under a pseudonym, an essay I'd published months ago about emotional survival and digital manipulation. She asked if I'd ever considered writing a memoir. I haven't said yes, but I didn't delete the email either. And then, a few days after the fallout, I passed her. Not planned, not dramatic. I was walking Tucker near a bookstore, and she was coming out with a tote bag and her eyes locked straight ahead until they locked with mine. She froze. She looked like someone who'd seen a photo they weren't supposed to find. And I swear, for one full second, I could see the question behind her eyes. Was it you? I didn't flinch, didn't nod, didn't blink, just watched. And when she looked down, when her whole posture collapsed in on itself like a sandcastle facing high tide, I turned and kept walking. Her last message came 3 weeks later. Subject, I hope you're proud. Body, you took everything. I have nothing left. And if that makes you feel alive, congrats. You beat the ghost you were so afraid of becoming. I read it on the same day I got the 5-year remission letter. A form email, auto-generated, with a link to download my updated health summary. It said, "Congratulations, you are officially considered in long-term remission." I sat there, looking at both messages on the screen. Her collapse, my survival, and I thought about replying. Just once. Just to say, you buried me, but I grew roots while you built your house on sand. But I didn't send anything, because I already had everything I wanted. She built a brand on sympathy. I buried it with the truth. I didn't send it to the world, just to one person, her mother, the one who always told me I wasn't ambitious enough for Mia. The email had no message body, just a subject line, "Your daughter's legacy." The last thing I saw before logging off for good was Mia's LinkedIn headline change. It used to say, "Brand strategist, survivor, founder in progress." Now it just said, "Seeking new direction." She buried me, so I'm taking her name with me.